In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and greetings. This is Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai with a new session for you, my friends. Alright, so from here, when we come into the toolbar, you can see here that there are 5 functions. Each function works for you separately. How can we take a screenshot? Now, our main task here is when we click on New. Alright, here I select a screen. You can see that a screenshot is taken. And where does the image go? It gets transferred to this program that we have called Snipping tool. In this program, we call this top part here the title bar. This part is called the application logo, and it shows the Snipping tool icon. When we click on it, a menu called Menu opens, which you can also open by right-clicking here. This part is called the control box or caption buttons, and you already know their functions, so I won't repeat that for you again. In the previous lesson, we said that this part is called a menu. The whole thing is called the menu bar, and this part here is called the toolbar. Alright, so those were their names. We call this the vertical scroll bar, and if the image gets wider, the horizontal scroll bar will also appear here. See, here it says horizontal scroll bar. This one is called the vertical scroll bar. Vertical scroll bars and horizontal scroll bars. Wherever you place your cursor, you'll see a little box pop up. Or for example, if I bring the cursor here, what's the name of this? See, a small window pops up and it says eraser. What's the name of this? Highlighter. What's the name of this? Pen. What's the name of this? Snip and sketch. So that little window is called a screen tip, which gives us information about the name of each tool. Alright, that was the program interface, meaning the appearance of the program. Now, let's learn the different ways to take a screenshot. We come to the Snipping tool section, and first, we go into Mode. In Mode, it asks us, which part of the screen do you want to capture? For example, if I choose Freeform, wherever we want to take a screenshot, we click New. You can freely select the area you want to capture from that region. In other words, it doesn't have a fixed selection shape. Whenever you drag your mouse pointer, it captures as much area as you select. It captures it. Alright, the second method is called rectangular. Rectangular is the part where you select an area, either as a square or a rectangle. A rectangle is when the width and height are not equal. Either the length is greater or the width is greater. That's called a rectangle. But if the width and height are equal, that's called a square. So what does it do in the shape of a rectangle or a square? It takes a screenshot. So that was the second method. Here, we wanted to capture the whole screen, to take a picture of the entire screen. Why do we call it full screen? Now, let's take a picture of the whole screen. It captured both the WordPad window and its background. If we tell it, no, I only want to take a picture of this WordPad window alone. Again, quickly press the Save button. Select the Save option called Windows Snip. It can't do this just because of recording. Well, now fortunately, that worked too. We click on the WordPad window. Now try to take a picture of only the WordPad window for us. So, when we take a screenshot from inside, it shows us 4 options, and you specify which part you want to capture. You can select in freeform shape, in a freestyle, rectangular, if you want to select in a square shape. Take a screenshot. Window, to only screenshot the window you're currently in, or full screen to capture the entire screen. When we take a screenshot, we capture a page or a section. It asks us whether there should be a delay, whether there should be a short pause before taking the screenshot or not. If we select no delay, there won't be any pause. So when you choose, for example, New, as soon as you say New, it automatically takes the screenshot. There won't be even a 1-second delay. But if we tell it to have a delay, you can still choose. You can set the delay for up to 5 seconds. For example, I set it to 5 seconds. Now, what does it do? Try to notice. When I click New, now it waits for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, this selection appears for us. See, 5 seconds have passed. Now the selection has appeared, telling you to take a photo. You can take a photo again. But if we want this delay, this same 5-second pause, to be shorter, well, we can choose a shorter time from the delay section. But honestly, it's kind of meaningless. It's a bit pointless. That's why it's not used much. Basically, what it does is let you choose a delay between 1 and 5 seconds before taking a screenshot. Usually, since it's something that's not used very often, it's better to just leave the delay as it is. So whenever we want to take a screenshot, there shouldn't be any delay. Whenever I want, I just take a screenshot of that part. Alright, After this section, we have another option called cancel. Like you want to take a screenshot of a page, but suddenly you change your mind. You say, no, I don't want to. Again, you say cancel. There's an options section. In the options section, try out the different buttons it has. First, what does this part do? Hide instruction text. We said this part is called instruction text, which is an informational section. If I turn this on, it won't show my instruction text anymore. If we turn this off, we're turning off the timer. We click OK. See, the instruction text appeared. Here, it asks us, allow copy snippet to clipboard. That means whenever I take a screenshot, it will directly copy it from my clipboard. If we turn this off, when we take a screenshot and later want to paste it into another program, it won't work, because pasting only works when we've actually copied something. So if we leave this on, what does it do? Every time you take a screenshot, it always copies it and sends the copy to the clipboard. It's better to always keep this on. Look, for example, let's say you took a picture of this part. We took a picture. Try to notice, we have a copy button here, but I'm not copying. I just took the picture. But even though I took my screenshot, when I go to Paint or any other program and hit paste, it brings up that same picture for me here. Even though I didn't copy it, why did it automatically paste it? That's because earlier, in the options, we set it so that whenever I take a screenshot, it automatically copies it too, meaning it automatically sends it to the clipboard. The clipboard is what stores what you copy, and sending it to the clipboard means it copies it. So, what else do we have? Here, we have another thing called include URL below as HTML. This means, whenever we copy something from a website, what should it do for us? It copies the website's address, www. In general, that's the HTTP, the full address of a website, also called the URL, which means it should always capture that as well. When you take a screenshot of a website, there's another button that says prompt to save snip before exiting. That means whenever you take a screenshot, like for example, I take a screenshot. For example, we haven't saved this picture, we have the save button, but we didn't save it. But whenever we close the program, it gives us this kind of message, asking if you want to save the picture before you exit. If you say yes, the picture will be saved. If you say no, the picture will be lost. If I turn this off, it means that it won't show us this message anymore. So, what's the reason it gives us this message? The reason is that here, in the options section, we turned this on. Prompt, meaning it should always ask us, it should prompt. If we turn this off, it won't ask anymore. When I click close, it will just close directly. Okay, so there's another thing here called show screen overlay when snipping tool is active. What this means is that when we take screenshots of parts of the screen, if there's an annoying program open on top, should it hide that program or not? We usually leave this turned on. Why? Because we say that whenever, for example, we take a picture of a part of the screen, if there's something annoying there, it should remove it. For instance, look, this is our screen here. But when I want to take a screenshot, I want to capture what's behind. I want to take a picture of the button that's behind me. But right behind me, there's something in the way. But when I start drawing, it automatically hides itself, because it realizes that the part I'm capturing was actually getting in the way. It hides, and once the screenshot is taken, it becomes visible again. So in places where, for example, there are annoying apps, it understands where we're taking the screenshot, and the app directly gets hidden. And finally, in that same option, there's one more thing called selection. The part you capture on the screen usually shows a red border or frame around it. If we turn this off, it means it won't show. If we turn it on, it means it will show. Well, you can choose what color it should be, red, green, yellow, select it and confirm. Now, for example, when I take a screenshot, you can see here this red line. There's a frame all around it, a border in red. If we turn off that border, we can do that, and we could also change its color. Alright, so in Snipping tool, we've gone through all these buttons. Now, when I take a screenshot, when I capture a part of the screen, that image gets transferred to the Snipping tool app, and earlier I explained all the names of its interface sections for you, which part is called what. Now let's see what we do inside here. Again, there are those same buttons, New, Mode, Delete. I already explained these to you earlier. We can also save this image somewhere. You and I can save it. Suppose we want to say, save this picture for us under the name Assad. Now, if I go to Disk tab, this picture has already been saved here as a JPG image. Second, here we have something called copy. Copy is not really necessary. If this button is enabled in the options, if this button is active, we don't need to use copy. Why? Because when the snipping tool takes a picture in any computer program we go to, as soon as we just click the paste button, what does it do? It pastes that picture for us right there. It brings it up automatically. But if that button we mentioned earlier is deactivated, if that button is off, then you still need to copy it manually. That means you definitely have to copy it yourself from this section. So every time, you have to copy this a little bit, and then when you bring it into the programs, the paste will work. Because if it hasn't been copied, it won't work. But since we set it up in the options beforehand, meaning whenever we take a screenshot, it automatically copies it and sends it to the clipboard, so we don't need to copy it again. It copies it for us directly. If we want to email the picture we have, we can come here. If we select the first button, Send Email, recipient or email as attachment, the difference is that if we choose the first one, we can only send the picture. There's no place to write a message. In this section, you write the email and address of the recipient. In the lower section, you enter the email and address of the second person. CC or carbon copy is what we use here. It's possible that we want to send it to two people, or we might enter a second email for the same person. Here as well, you enter this one, and this screenshot is sent to that person. We just click send. That means there's no place to write a line. If we select this option, whereas if we chose the second option called send as recipient of attachment, it means it will send our file as a unique attachment. In such a case, when the file is sent as an attachment, we can still write a line here at the bottom. Basically, for writing a line or even a paragraph, we have enough space there. Since this file is being sent as a unique attachment, there's also an attachment bar here. Here, we can also attach other files as well. For example, let's say I want to attach another photo to send. In the same way, you can attach other photos, write the email and address here, and then click send. So in the first section, you couldn't send attachments. That means you couldn't write code or lines. You could only send photos. In this initial section. In the second one, attachments could be sent. We could attach photos. We could also attach other photos. And even what else could we do with lines? We could write text. So after that, what do we have? We have a pen. Here, first we choose the pens. For example, for this photo, we want to write some things. We want to make some notes. We select the pen color, red, blue, black, from the pens it offers. So far, for example, if we say red, the red color is selected. If we say blue, blue is selected. If we choose black, the pen will be black. But if I select custom, what can I do myself? I can edit or modify it. For example, I can say I need a pen in red color and the line thickness should be this much. What kind of pen tip should it be? Should the line be straight or round? We set this up. Now try this pen tip that we defined for you. And this one is from the highlighter. What can we do with it? We can highlight certain parts with these, and with the eraser tool, we can erase what we've drawn using these as well. If we want to. If you want to edit the same picture in Paint or Paint 3D, just click. It opens the same picture for us in another program called Paint 3D, so that we can draw 3D shapes there or do some extra things. We can do those extra things up there, if we want to do it in this program. Well, if we don't want to, we can just close it. Well, after the toolbar, you see that the File, Open, and Save options are almost repeated. You see, File New lets you take a new picture. Save As does this job for you. Send To also does something similar if you want to send this. If we want to print this same picture, we have the Print option, and exits the program. In the middle section, we have Copy, which we used here earlier. In Paint 3D, this last button here is the one we worked with. In Tools, in the Pen section, we can select the pens. Custom Color, which we worked with here earlier, and the highlighter or eraser. These two, you should know which one is the highlighter and which one is the eraser. The option was also something I explained to you more outside, and the Help section is the Information section. It gives information about the program itself, like which version of Windows the program is for, and all the details about Windows and the Snap Tool program. From here, we can also get general information about Windows, but we need internet access for that. So, as we said before, in the previous versions of Windows, like Windows XP, when we took screenshots, we only used the print screen and Alt plus print screen shortcuts. But in Windows 7, we could use the Snipping tool program. For what purpose? For taking screenshots. In Windows 10 and Windows 11, instead of these two, we have something else. For screenshots, we have something called Snip and Sketch. And we also have another tool called Steps Recorder, which I'll explain in the next video and show you how to use them as well. And finally, dear friends, I kindly ask that if you found these videos helpful, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next sessions. Goodbye.